Thank you very much. Too kind. Let's have a little chat after this evening is over to talk about the race. Hussein, the other good thing that's happened to you recently is that your name, my dear Hussein, is being rehabilitated in this country. Mr. Prime Minister, Administrator 4, Undersecretary, Glassman, dear friends, honored guests, it is a privilege to have you with us tonight. We thank you, we appreciate your presence, and we read it as we think it is a statement of support for what we want to do and how we do it. So we are grateful for you for being with us this fine evening, and we like to say that when we put the American Task Force together, a bunch of us, who are so many in this room, in March of 2003, we were thought by others to be too idealistic, too optimistic, too hopeful, and all in all, not very practical people. Yes, we did start at that dinner with the busboys and poets, which was a donation by him, we couldn't afford it, and we thank him for it. But through persistence, I would almost say, with the courage to persist and the courage that we ask others to experience and to persist in pursuing, we're here with so many of you, and we thank you again for being here. I wanted to begin talking to you tonight about dignity, which is really at the core of what we try to do at ATFP. Dignity of the Palestinian people and dignity of Palestinian and Arab American people, both in their own lands. The only difference between Palestinians and any other people is that the Palestinians do not have a state. They're just like others in every other way, but they don't have a state. A state where they can be at home as first-class citizens. It will be not possible for them to fully exercise their dignity till they have that state. A two-state solution is not a device to finesse the conflict. It is the only solution that will allow the Palestinians to achieve a normal state and the only vehicle for Israel to become a normal state. The policy of the international community now is a two-state solution. This policy is frustrated by politics, and it is our collective task to bring politics into alignment with policy. Palestinian Americans, indeed, all Arab Americans, are like all other Americans. Like others before, we have had to deal with prejudice, subtle and occasionally naked forms of prejudice, and indeed racism. Our quest for dignity can end only when we are treated like others, no better and no worse. The underlying impulse for establishing the American Task Force on Palestine is to chip away on the diminishment of the Palestinian people, here and abroad, and to break the negative stereotypes that we, our children, and our grandchildren had to deal with. The objective for all three of our annual galas has been the same: to recognize and honor outstanding Palestinian Americans who are national leaders, public servants of distinction, innovators, inventors, leading physicians and attorneys, academics, musicians, entrepreneurs, artists, and fashion designers. These are the Palestinians we want the rest of America to meet, acknowledge, and respect, and to say after the encounter, We have met the Palestinians, and they are us. The American leaders who addressed our gala in the past, and the ones who are doing so this evening, the audience that is here tonight, and the many friends who support us everywhere are giving but one statement. The Palestinians are okay. They're entitled to equal rights in America, and they have earned the right to a state. The theme for this year's gala, the courage to persist, the will to build, is more than just a statement. It is a mindset, it is a program, and it is a strategy. As you will hear later tonight from our distinguished guest, Prime Minister Salam Fayyad, this is precisely the program that he and President Mahmoud Abbas are implementing in Palestine. It is their way of creating facts on the ground. They are not sitting and waiting for the occupation to end. They are not lamenting and watching for others to help them out. They are establishing the structures that this state will require as soon as the occupation comes to an end. People ask, with justified cynicism, when will this occupation end? And I have but one answer. When the forces inside Israel, inside Palestine, and inside the United States that support an honorable and lasting two-state solution win over those opposed to this solution in all these three places, that is when the occupation will end. But in the meantime, we must not lose heart. The Palestinians, with our help, must build their economy, their legal and social institutions, and above all, a security system that, through good governance, restores the authority of government and that of the rule of law. The Israelis cannot go on building and expanding settlements and then expect a resolution of this conflict. We welcome the statements that are coming from leading policy makers and decision makers in Israel that call for ending the occupation and the creation of a state of Palestine. We appreciate those statements. We think that through negotiations based on the 1967 borders, we can come up with an agreement that will put this conflict to rest. We appreciate the words that come out of Israel, and we understand that the issues are complex and difficult, and there are no quick fixes. At the end of the day, we want and need a warm peace. On November 4th, the American people will choose a new leader. We welcome him in advance and ask him to make this issue a top priority. And we are glad of all the signals that we're getting that this administration is giving just that message to the next administration, whoever it is, that this issue is a priority and the tools to deal with it have already started. It will take courage and political will on the part of a truly engaged statesman to resolve this conflict. We wish him and the rest of us good luck. Thank you again for being with us tonight, and allow me to introduce young Dana Youssef, who will sing the national anthem.